Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Anywhere But Here. I'm Tom.
I'm Ant.
And this is episode 10.
Double digits.
Double digits. 10 whole weeks. Before we start off, I think we should do the regular housekeeping stuff. You know, find us on Twitter. Hey, it's me, Tom.
I'm Hey, it's Ant.
And you know, we're on Facebook. We've got the emails. Which we don't have any to read out this week.
No, it's abhpod@gmail.com if you do want to get in touch though.
Don't forget to buy all your stuff through the banner at the top of our site from Amazon. abhpod.com. And
I think that is
that everything?
You always mention Facebook, but
I'm
never going to add anyone on Facebook that I don't know.
No, it's I might. It depends who you are. And YouTube, because we've had some correspondence from people who listen to YouTube.
Yeah, we do. We have that's YouTube. True. Actually, we do on our website. If you go there, we do also have a banner right on the home page. That's I can't remember what it says, but it's basically to fill out a survey, so we know what you want, basically.
Yeah,
we need to find out about you.
One of the things we've had from this particular person is that he watches online and things might be a little bit long sometimes.
Yeah, he just watches on YouTube, which was surprising to us.
So whoever you are, whatever your name is, you know, thanks for the...
Stick around for the last 30% of the videos though, because they're usually just as good as the rest of it.
Yeah, normally we wind up with something strong at the end. Anyway, for those of you actually watching the YouTube this week, you might have noticed that we're in another different place,
and we have another
special guest, second special guest in a row. This is a guy who, well, we're not quite sure how we met, but this is Ben Copland of music production fame. And
would you say production? I mean, you're a producer as well.
Yeah, I'm actually. I have so many hats. I need another hat stand.
Yeah, because I did look it up, and I was kind of do a bit of what we would call research, just kind of find something out, and I did notice a lot of stuff that came up was photography.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of photography. You know, certainly the last couple of years, I've been doing lots of events and stuff like that for some of the.
So you do it like semi-professional photography, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my approach to anything I do is professional. So I kind of think of myself as being almost a professional musician and a photographer as well. You know, I'm sort of I'm following in the footsteps of Brian. You know, Adams, who's also a photographer these days.
Oh, is he?
You know, but no, I've mainly been known as a music producer and songwriter, musician, and as I say, I've always had a sort of creative, you know, my whole thinking and desires have always been very based around creativity. So I enjoy the photography and videography as much as I do any other sort of creativity at the moment. So it's all good.
That's the best start. Yeah, that's an awesome start. We normally get people who stutter, and we're not the best ourselves. No, that was very erudite. But yeah. So about what was it? Maybe 7 years ago or something, perhaps.
Gosh, I know time has flown, hasn't it?
I must have come to one of your gigs with Mooli, up in London at Islington.
Yeah,
and we struck up a kind of a kind of correspondence that's lasted all these years, and we always say we should get together at some point. And
I know it's one of these things you always say, and suddenly we've finally got it.
And here we are, together, and now we're doing something.
It just happened to come at the right time. We started a podcast. Who do we know that's interesting that we could ask to come on?
Well, that's it, because like I think some of the stuff that we do, some of the stuff we talk about, I think sometimes we need a person to kind of focus the thing around.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Trying to find someone with an interesting life.
Well, I'm pleased that you think I'm, deemed to be interesting.
This is what we're going to find out.
Yeah, we will find out.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I suppose, where do we start? I guess.
Well, you mentioned the band Mooli.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the way you said it, it could have sounded like you went to Islington with a person called Mooli.
Yeah, that's true. No, the band is Mooli, and this is this your main?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the main thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I've sort of had a few different sort of incarnations, if you like. I mean, I was signed to a major label with another band previously, to A&M Records, and I sort of, went on to do stuff with, some quite well-known people on a writing and production side of things. Became a professional songwriter, just stopped playing and wrote songs for many years. I was signed to Universal and then Global Talent, and did quite a lot of pop stuff, if you like. And having sort of achieved some of the stuff, on that side, including, I know it sounds really kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of semi-ashamed of it, but it's, I wrote basically for the X Factor. I wrote singles for X Factor and Idol, and did some interesting artists outside of that. And anyway, once I'd achieved some of those things, I decided that maybe I should, concentrate on my own project rather than jumping on everyone else's, and that's when I started Mooli originally.
But doesn't you say you're ashamed of it, but it's obviously doing things like writing for stuff that's well known like that will make you sort of a decent enough living that allows you to work on your own stuff.
Yeah,
so it pays the bills to allow you to be more creative, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, I'm kind of I am sort of in two minds about it all, because I like real artists and real music.
Everyone does.
Everything else, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not really, some people are just interested in sales figures. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I've had a couple of records, that's one in particular has done over 1 million copies.
This one that we're talking about is Aaron Carter's album.
Yeah,
was it the album?
That's the album. That's Oh Aaron. That's a platinum album in America, which I'm happy about. I never sort of thought I'd have a platinum album from America. I am not. I don't believe that the songs on there are my strongest songs that I've written, but it just so happens that it's there was an audience for that music, and it did well. Got to number 6 in America.
Did you write all the tracks on it?
No. It was a case of there's a few writers on that and a few producers and things like that. Really,
none of which have the surname Carter, I should imagine.
Exactly. I mean, but as an artist, as a writer, you kind of as a producer, you want to have more control over your output and the songs and the music that you do, and forming your own project or whatever is a lot, for me, very satisfying, rather than constantly jumping on other people's projects. And
so I suppose as well, you see it through from kind of inception to fruition as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's, I suppose, we have a very limited career in that area, but it's always better if you believe in what you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's always going to be way more.
You'll be a lot happier. You'll be a lot happier.
Well. I mean, the music I do with Mooli, I really feel from it's not something that's sort of contrived or something that's trying to fit into a particular box, which people, often want me to do when I'm sort of writing for their projects or whatever. It's just something that I'm expressing myself in the purest form, and that's what I like.
Yeah, because there's quite a range of sound as well, isn't there? In Mooli.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the early stuff is very kind of.
I was trying to, like you're saying, it's about people fitting something into a box. But when I was listening to the album, it's
difficult.
You can't say
it's difficult because, especially, I mean, the first thing that I bought of yours was One Design, the EP, and each song on that, although sonically there's similarities, they're all slightly different in the makeup of the song, like some of them are acoustic, some of them are kind of more kind of trip hop beat driven. There's kind of soul, there's all sorts going on.
It's sort of it's almost it's kind of like cross genre in a way. I mean, I find it hard to I'm not sort of in my tastes, I'm quite I've got wide tastes, so I find it hard to just sort of do one style and then to repeat it. You know, I like to be able to. I mean, what it does is it gives me the flexibility to be able to, you know, to experiment and to, you know, do different sorts of things I'm feeling at the time. You know, and I mean, thing about One Design you mentioned, it's a funny one really for me, because I wrote that song and I sort of kind of looked at it from a political point of view in a way, right. And the way there was the inspiration for me behind that song, and yet, you know, but I don't sort of try to ram any politics down anyone's throat or anything like that, and people, and it's not so maybe so apparent to a lot of people that there is a political message behind it. And I remember sort of being in Medway, and someone came up to me and they'd sort of bought the EP and they sort of listened to One Design, and I always remember this. And am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, we've got an explicit rating
on every single episode so far.
Well, okay, I'll try and you know, tone it down a little bit. But basically, this guy comes up to me and says to me, "All right, mate, you all right? You Ben, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, you know, I love that EP, that One Design. Oh, that track. Hang on. I just call my missus. Yeah, Sharon, come here, Ben." And as his wife comes over and she goes, "Now this is Ben, you know, like one Mooli, that One Design." "Oh yeah." And then he says, "We make love to that, don't we?" It's that One Design. And you know, yeah. So that was
your political song is also, it can also be used for
sex music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it probably would have sounded, you know, better if I'd actually said what he actually said.
Yeah.
But I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Medway, it probably wasn't make love.
No.
I don't think anyone in Medway makes love. So, how did you? I guess we'll go back to the start. Maybe how did you first get into music?
Again,
you bought a guitar or a keyboard by your parents.
It's no. Well, actually, when I first got into music, I mean, I actually can remember writing songs and stuff as a 7-year-old and stuff like that, writing little melodies and stuff like that, and. At that point, it was mainly sort of calypso and sort of like Caribbean type stuff.
Right.
I got into a few different bands and influences and stuff like that. And I just I decided that I was going to try to do music and be in a band. And I got I got an audition and I had to sing Johnny Be Good. Didn't know any lyrics to that. I sort of like just sort of try to cheat and sort of just shout loudly and stuff like that, and not knowing the lyrics. And anyway, I got in. I was really surprised.
Right.
I mean, the band were hopeless, so it's probably why I got in. But I really wanted to. I found it really, really frustrating trying to communicate with people about what ideas I had in terms of, like, if I had a song idea, I wanted not being able to play anything. I wanted to sort of let them. I wanted to try to collaborate and say this is my idea, but it was never communicated properly, or no one actually understood what I was trying to do. And
so is it that you weren't playing instruments at the time?
At that time, I wasn't playing any instruments. I actually, it's a funny one, but I actually one of the turning points for me about music and thinking it could be possible was I actually went into a studio in South London, and in that place there was this. I went with a friend of mine. We were sort of just really early teens sort of thing, and anyway, we went into the studio, and there was a band there from Norway. They were doing a recording and stuff with synths and things like that. Anyway, I listened to the tracks and I thought that they sounded, really well played. I couldn't really play much at the time, and a little while later, I heard that one of the tracks on the radio, and I was like, wow, actually, this is recorded where we've been sort of doing this little demo, saving up my pennies and stuff to go in this demo. And this band were called Aha.
Oh,
my God.
Wow!
And so I'd be sort of like going back home with Morton from our heart back to London Bridge, and I'd be asking him questions like, so if you ever made it, what would you like to do and stuff like that? And he'd be like, I want to go travelling around the world, and it just seemed like a big dream, but suddenly this band had made it, and was like,
that must be
that's
kind
quite
of electrifying.
Yeah,
that you're in that situation, like you're mixing in that kind of, so it happens on your doorstep kind of thing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, oh wait, hold on, people can do this.
Yeah,
kind of like what I said when we turned up here, and it's kind of like you listen to all the Mooli tracks, and then we kind of stood in this room.
Yeah,
where this guy kind of works on the music, and he's got a platinum selling album like plaque up on the wall.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, and that guy lives in Maidstone.
Yeah. It's a bit surreal. Everything's a bit surreal.
It's kind of like a similar sort of thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that definitely was inspiration.
Yeah, sure. So what what kind of music was it that your band was playing, or was it kind was it kind of covers stuff? Or,
well, the band that I sort of joined and stuff, they we didn't really do any gigs. We just did a couple of rehearsals, and then it was out. It was finished. So I sort of started this sort of synth-based music, and I was too scared to go in the studio on my own, and I took this friend of mine who couldn't play anything, a bit like George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, I suppose, probably, and just as a bit of company, and and after that, I just went from one thing to another, and eventually, I mean, my whole thing with playing, coming from a standpoint of not being able to play anything at all, and then wanting to write songs and to communicate them, I actually went to I've only ever had one lesson when it comes to playing things, and basically the lesson wasn't really a lesson. I just went into a class and sort of arrived late, and everyone was already there, sort of gathered around this teacher trying to teach things, and I just sort of just said, hello, and looks around, and it's like, another late comer, what does he want? And I just said, so he says, any questions? And I said, can you show me where C is? He said, C. I was just here. So I thought, okay, that's it, great, I'm gone. That's what I need to know. Thank you. And that was a lesson I had, basically. Right. That was my lesson. And then I just went off and just, taught myself, And I'll say today that when it comes to being a piano player, I'm not sort of Elton John or anything like that. I'm not an accomplished piano player by any stretch of the imagination. I maybe should have had lessons, but I also my theory behind music playing and creativity, writing, is I like to be in a state of wondering how on earth what happened there?
Right.
Where did that come from? I love that.
So it's got to be
that's
like an organic.
Yeah, it's almost like a childlike state. I think writing should be like in a childlike state of not really knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, but I think that's where we come from. Like when we were writing songs as well, the ones that kind of came together in half an hour as fully formed songs, I think they're the ones that we're probably most proud of, or our favourite songs,
and the ones that actually lived longer than the ones that we really hammered out over weeks and weeks.
Yeah, the ones that are kind of like, well, no, that doesn't sound right, that doesn't go with that. If you fret over it too much, I think it kind of loses the
magic, I think.
Because that was one of the things. One of the other bands that I was in I think we were together for I was in that band for maybe 2 years, and in that time we wrote 6 songs. Wow. Which it's just destroying, because you go into these spaces and you're paying for the spaces every week, and you're just working on sections that are gonna fit together with another section.
Eventually become
like,
one song.
We played maybe 2 gigs.
I think we had met us in our band. I think we had quite a few where we were writing songs, like 2 or 3 songs a week. And then we'd spend another 5 or 6 months kind of practicing whilst we were gigging. We essentially. I mean, to be fair, the songs in that band very rarely got over 2.5 minutes long.
Right.
Because it was just a pop punk band. It's kind of get the song out there. That's 1, 2,
done. 3, 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, so how do you go about creating a song from scratch? Because I assume you work mainly on your own.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I tend to just want to go into my own little cave, and I like a lot of the times it's been when it's nighttime and there's nothing around, it's tranquil and stuff, and it's just you just kind of lose yourself and just go into it, and sometimes it's a sound that you've played with. I mean, like One Design, for instance, that was started around a sound. It was a sound of I don't even know how to describe that sound. It's sort of it's like this. It's what's playing the chords basically. That was what it was. I don't even know how I even came up with that sound, but again, it's that sort of wonderment, but and then that triggers off certain things. I tend to basically work from creating the music first, and then some melodies will come from that, and then I'll work on the lyrics. That's how I tend to work. When I first started, obviously, because I couldn't play anything at all, it would all start from the melodies and the lyrics first, and then try to find the music to fit. So I work the other way around these days.
I think that is one of the questions a lot of people have for songwriters, isn't it? What comes first, the lyrics or the music?
That is the kind of standard line, isn't it? I'm just falling into that trap.
So, I mean, do you actually sit down with the intention to write a song, or do you kind of like? I know for me, like when I'm writing songs, it's usually when I'm laying in bed and something comes to me, and it's kind of like, do I get out of bed to go and put this down on paper? It kind of comes to me even when I'm stood at work doing nothing, and you get something playing in your head, and you try and play it as much as possible in your head to remember it.
I remember those days. It's great. It's when you sort of like been waking up or whatever, or just dreaming of this song or whatever, and having to get up and do it. I love that, and I would love to get some of that back actually, but because I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle of those two things really, because I kind of I like to just go and with an intention to come up with something. So there's that, but I'm not quite sure which way it's going to go when I do go to that keyboard or whatever and play. So I mean, for years when I was as I said, the phase of my life where I was strictly a songwriter, I had to often. It was often a case of like being, that sort of hit factory type mentality, where you have to sort of come up with a song in a day, and I'd often. I remember going to Sweden on trips and songwriters camps out there, and having to, be put into groups of 3, and then you'd have to come up with a song,
really
at the end of that session when you were, you might have like a couple of hours with as a group, and then you've got to come up with a song in that time. You've got to record at the end of the day, a day with that one, and you'd come up with maybe 2 or 3 songs in that day, and and that sort of that was. It may be good exercise to be able to sort of think quickly, but there's part of you that sort of think that lyrics deserved a bit more time.
That does sound kind of. It's like a factory, like you say, a hit factory. It is kind of like the record companies send you out there.
That's part of the course as well, is it? That's kind of.
Did they send you?
They sent me. I mean, I had a great, it was a great experience in a way, because I mean, I went off to. Have you heard of a band called Roxette? Well, Per Gessler from Roxette, he owns this great hotel in a place called Halmstad in Sweden, and we had writers from around the world. Some worked with Mary J. Blige, all kinds of people. We all gathered around in this hotel, and for a writers' camp. And it was, it was a good experience in terms of networking and people and stuff like that, And I think from that camp, I believe one of the songs got used for something or other that I did, but it was very much like you get up, you work, and stuff, and. The funniest thing I remember about that camp, actually, it wasn't so much the writing and the thing, which was great fun, was the MD Roxette's of Per Gessler's company, who's now the MD of I think Chrysalis Music or something in Sweden. Right. Anyway, right at the end of the camp, everyone gathered together and stuff and went to the beach and stuff like that. And you know, it was a sort of time to chill out after all the writing and the recording and you know, fun but stress as well. You know, and he's like, right, who's coming for a swim? And it's like, well, I don't really swim, you know, I can't really swim, unfortunately. So just like, I didn't put my hand up. And then you know, then he sort of proceeded to take all his clothes off and dash into the water. You know, you just never find an MD of a publishing company over here doing that. You know,
it's the Swedish mentality.
Yeah. So you know, a bit of naturism at the end of the trip as well. But you know, I often went to Sweden to work with different writers, and my publisher would set up meetings where, you know, I would go in and have a day with this particular camp and another day with another camp, and then I have to come up with a song every day, basically. You know, so yeah, it's.
Do you ever find kind of, I don't know, long-standing partnerships with that, you know, musical kind of collaborators or anything through those, or is it just like you're there for the day or a couple of days and that's it? You never hear from those people again, is it?
Yeah, a lot of those people, a lot of the times, you know, we've never collaborated since. Even though, like on that trip, just one of the trips to Sweden, I had a very successful co-write with Lisa Linderborg, who's done lots of things. I can't, too numerous to mention actually the things that she's done. But she plays and she writes melodies. She doesn't do lyrics at all. So we'd work on a situation where I would write all the lyrics. And often, I'll be honest, often a lot of my cuts I've been the lyricist and the melody person. So kind of going back to my original sort of way of working in a way.
Yeah.
One of the songs that we did, a song called "Come With Me," which is can be sort of double entendre if you like. That's been cut by I think 3 different artists now, and so that's been a really successful one. Right. And the funny thing is with that song, actually, there's I think 2 of the artists are on Sony BMG. You know, I think all 3 of them are Sony BMG, and in different territories, and 2 of them have got exactly the same video. You know, they've used exactly the same car in the video and stuff like that. I can show it to you later.
Are these artists people that we would have heard of?
Not in the UK, but they've been artists that have been successful in their own territories. You know, so the song's sort of been top 10 and stuff in their territories. But you know, we're still waiting for an English artist to cut it, but it's been cut by an Italian, Spanish, and Dutch artist.
It's strange when you hear like this, the label that's kind of taken this song and they're kind of like, well, we've got an artist over there that it will fit with, and one there that will.
This really, I suppose.
And this video worked in that territory, so we'll make that video there as well. Yeah. And they're never gonna cross over.
It's weird, isn't it?
So obviously, you've got to think that maybe the label have kind of gone, well, we're not going to put them in any other territories, because otherwise they wouldn't have given them the same video if they had the intention of promoting them elsewhere.
No, true.
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's the music industry, isn't it? You know?
It is. It is.
Quite happy with them to stay there.
Yeah, you know, I had one song which I wrote with Alan Glass, who's written for you know, Aretha Franklin, loads of other people. He was one of the people who kind of discovered Whitney Houston, him and his brother. Wrote a song with him called Winter in July, and that song was used by...
Was Winter in July? There wasn't Ace of Base or KLF or something like that.
No, actually, there is a... I know you're thinking about. You're thinking about... oh my God, what are they called? I should know. Tim Cinnamon's band. Bass. Oh my God, Bomb the Bass. Bomb the Bass.
That's it. Yeah.
There is a song called that, exactly. But no, it's not the same. Not the same track. No, it's the same title. But no, that one is that was done by X Factor winner from Belgium, Udo. Sorry, excuse me, Udo. I do pronounce your name wrong, and it's been a while. And and also it was also cut by the German Idol as well simultaneously. In fact, they both recorded it for. I think they were both on Sony BMG as well. God, I've had quite a few cuts on Sony BMG. Yeah.
Oh wow. There's also again, I've been trying to do some investigation. Have you done stuff for Eurovision?
Oh my God. Okay. Cuts. Well, okay.
We don't have to talk about it.
No. I'll tell you what happened there, right? Because my publisher at the time, Miller Williams, who signed me to Global Talent. Global Talent now own all the radio stations like Heart and everything else, LBC, Capital Radio. But at the time they were, just publishing it and management. And he basically, I didn't know about this. He basically put I think 3 of my songs in for the Eurovision thing, and so 3 of them made it onto the Song for Europe in that year. That was, and one of them got disqualified.
Oh really?
Because it's already been covered by a Swedish artist, and I think it was. Oh my God! It's either Timbaland or someone who produced it. I can't remember who it was. It was God. What are these other? My brain is thinking
Timbaland. It's like Pharrell. Or
no, I'm thinking of like. My God, I need to sort of like have a look on.
Sorry, I was sprung this on you.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's either Timbaland or Danny D's producers who do do Beyonce and stuff now. They produced it, and so it was found out that it's already been out, so it got disqualified.
Oh,
yeah. In fact, the singer behind that particular song, which is called Love Struck, she's now a very successful manager. She's doing quite a lot of stuff in the charts right now. But anyway, that's yes. One I'd forgotten about.
It's nice to have the memory jogged every now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God.
Now, where did you find that information?
Yeah, where I found that information.
Pull it down.
Oh my God.
The wonders of Wikipedia.
I know. God, as you're saying that, I'm keep talking. I'm just gonna.
Because I was essentially what I was doing was looking to see if you actually had your own Wikipedia page or if Mooli had, and Mooli don't. I was surprised.
You know what? There was one about me, but then it got taken down. Actually, there was actually I had, and I suspect I know who might have been behind it, but someone had started putting all kinds of crap on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So people do moderate Wikipedia, funnily enough. Because I know there's one on one of the podcasts I listen to. There's a guy who keeps trying to get a Wikipedia page started for himself, but Wikipedia keep taking it down.
Yeah, there's
because they don't believe he's famous or well known or anything, so they keep pulling it down. So you can't actually have a Wikipedia about just anything you want.
No,
people will take it down.
There was a Mooli one and there was a Ben Copland one, but yeah, it's maybe it's time for someone to do another one.
Perhaps.
But the producers I'm talking about before, I couldn't remember, which I'm really ashamed to say. I think the producers of that track I talked about, which I wrote, was Stargate.
Oh yeah, they did.
No, it's your turn to have a brain fart.
Yeah, Stargate did. They did a couple of dance songs back in.
Oh, they've done Neo and everything else, Closer and things like that.
Yeah,
those bits and pieces. Yeah,
there is some,
they've done a lot of stuff with Neo, but they produced Love Struck, and that's the reason why it got disqualified. Yeah. Thankfully.
So
where do we get? Well, I suppose you just ask about how Mooli got started. Really.
Yeah, because we've kind of done
current.
Yeah, no, that's it. I think we should probably bring it up to more up to date. Anyway, how long ago was it that Mooli started?
Yeah, well, it's had sort of two incarnations now, really. Because I guess it's sort of I guess there was a release. Really started, I guess, in 2005. Really. When it sort of released One Design EP, and you know, and then the Concubine album in 2008, and you know, at that point, you know, I was working with, you know, another singer at that point, and you know, my sort of ex-fiance or whatever,
right,
and you know, never mix business and pleasure, you know, so it's one of those things. So anyway, I won't say too much about that particular episode.
Was clear, right?
That's right. Yeah. You know, it's got a good sound, and I was really happy with the album. I thought the album came out really well, and basically I had to after the album came out, things sort of went pretty much tits up, really, because
really?
yeah, I mean. All right, do you want to put on record exactly what happened?
You don't have to.
It's your choice.
If it causes problems, don't do it.
Well, okay. Let's just say, because I've not really talked about this before. Let's just say what happened was the original incarnation was myself and Claire, and I'd originally started the band, the project, based around her, because it was a case of you know, I was working with many artists and things like that, and she was, you know, my partner, and you know, she felt a little bit pushed out because I was working with other people and not really doing so much with her. So I decided to start a project.
Was she a vocalist anyway then?
Yeah, and I really liked, you know, what she brought to the table, you know. So I thought maybe it's time to just sort of, I want to start a project. I want to start a project with a female vocalist. Rather than look outside, maybe I should just look at home.
Makes sense, really.
That's very true.
And so did that, really. And the thing is, when it came to coming out live, I felt that we needed to find like you know, a live drummer, that sort of stuff to do it. And I was doing some mentoring in London. I was mentoring sort of long-term unemployed people and people who wanted to sort of get into the music industry.
Oh, right.
And the person that one of the people I mentored was a drummer, and I sort of had him. I thought, well, I could help his mentoring along and everything else by working with him, and he can help us by coming out on the road and you know, being our drummer. And I took him into the BBC, you know, studios and stuff to do a session, and that was pretty good. It worked really well, and we got on very well. But let's just say she's now married to him, and they have 2 children, and I wish them all the best. And so that was a pretty nasty, sudden sort of thing that sort of happened there, and I had to then decide whether to end Mooli at that point or to start again. And initially I was my choices about finding a replacement vocalist was kind of limited to looking for a replacement that sounded and or looked like the same. Almost like subconsciously I was almost hoping that, you know, if I put someone who looked or sounded like the previous vocalist, no one would notice or think, oh, she's had a new haircut, or, you know, or she's gone a bit slimmer or fatter or whatever. And you know, and so people would come around and I would audition people, and I'll be looking at them from the side, and it's kind of looking back on it, it seems really crazy now. I'll be looking at them from the side thinking, actually, she looks a bit like her, doesn't she? Or she sounds like her, just like on that note, you know.
Right.
And
so essentially you were trying to probably avoid the questions that would come with it, so you wouldn't have to tell people what happened. I suppose.
Yeah, it's
without
kind of damage limitation, really, because the album had just come out.
Also, I suppose, you're trying to tour an album as well.
Yeah,
just come out, and you know, we're due to play the Scala. Got people from different parts of Europe had booked tickets to come over, and got a hotel. Got all the record labels said they're going to come down. All the management are going to come down. Everything, and it's been so hard to get them to come down in the first place. And suddenly they're saying, "Yeah, we're going to be there." And then I had to say, we're not doing the gig because something's happened. So it was very much like, you know, it was like the end of the world for a while, you know, and everything caved in. So I had to sort of take stock, really. And then once I'd sort of come out of that, trying to find the same, I opened up to looking at different sorts of singers, and I you know, and sometimes when I think something's so close to you, you don't see it, you know. It's you know, it's just too close for you to focus on. And I then realised, hang on a minute, vocalist that I'd been trying to help and stuff like that. Hang on, mate, she doesn't sound anything like her, but maybe she could actually be that vocalist. I like the way I work with her. She's got a good spirit, you know. She's got a great voice. She looks fantastic. Maybe I should work with this vocalist, you know. And that's when that's like a eureka moment, you know. And I sort of so that person was Christina, and you know, because I'd originally been asked to come and check Christina out at a college she was at, and by someone else, a songwriter in a dance world, who'd sort of wanted my opinion on this vocalist. I'd been to this college, I'd seen her perform with a guitarist and stuff like that, and I sort of gave her, you know, thumbs up. Yeah, I think she's great. You know, go with it. But this particular songwriter kind of gave her lots of promises about, you know, oh, I'm going to have you on telly, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Right. And then sort of said, you know, when she met up with Christina's dad, because he asked questions about how's it going to work, she thought, oh, I can't deal with this. He asked too many questions, you know, I'm not going to work with her.
Really?
So then she decided, no, I was going to tell her an excuse. I'm sorry, I'm busy for the next, God knows, however months, you know. And I just felt really bad because I thought, you know, well, she's been sort of picked up and then dropped like that. That could really
without even giving anything.
Yeah, exactly. Without a particular reason. I mean, just because your dad asked questions, that's the reason why I'm not going to work with you. So I thought, well, that's really shit, and I'm going to try and help this woman. So I, you know, I began sort of helping her and trying to encourage her because I thought there might be a danger she might be lost to music because of this experience, you know. So I tried to sort of encourage her and help her where I could. And suddenly there's an opportunity where I found that maybe she could sort of, you know, come on board with Mooli and stuff. And I sort of then sort of asked her, you know, how would she feel about, you know, becoming a vocalist, and she was like, almost like, I thought you'd never asked me, you know. You know, that's what I was waiting for this sort of thing, you know. Yeah. So it was it was great, and she's been, you know, she's a lovely person, and she's got a great voice, and as I say, she looks great as well. So I think actually, you know, sort of landed on my feet with that one, really.
Yeah, and you've been working with her now for what?
Actually, you know what? I think I'm trying to think how long it's been. It's probably been it's actually been about 2.5, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
yeah. Not as long as I thought.
Yeah.
Your stuff sounds very different with her as well.
It does. Yeah.
Is that something you did because of the voice, or was it something you wanted to do anyway?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I you know, after the Concubine album came out and stuff, my style changed. You know, I'd say that Concubine is more of a smokers album.
Right. See, that's the thing I was getting through. I wanted to say it was kind of like jazz lounge, but it's not that sort of music. But it kind of gives you that relaxed sort of. Yeah. Almost. That's the thing I was trying to think, like piano bar, but it's not piano bar music. Yeah. No. But it's kind of got that same feel. Like you say, it's a smokers album.
It is loungy, but not. Yeah. But not.
But it's also dancey at the same time.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mixture there, you know. But my style had changed, and you know, I'd sort of, my sound had sort of evolved a little bit, and you know, it's probably evolved since working with her as well, you know, because I sort of originally sort of recorded her, you know, singing a couple of songs I'd written when I wasn't sure who was going to be the vocalist, and then obviously as she's become the vocalist, and I've gotten used to her range and her style and stuff, I tend to, and she's got a huge range, by the way. I've had to, you know, I've adapted to her as well.
It allows you to expand your own kind of range across like sound.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, because the original vocalist, to be honest, I love her tone. I love Claire's tone. She's got an amazing tone. She hasn't got a huge range, but her tone, what I tried to capture with her was, because I like working with female vocalists, you know, I worked with some of the best female vocalists, I think. Beverly Knight.
I was going to say, because it's Beverly Knight, and there were a few other names on that list as well, whose names now escape me because it's come to the day and I'm not prepared.
Oh no, it's cool. It's cool.
You should have printed stuff
I just love female vocalists though, and I love the tone. I try to capture the tone. I mean, like with Clea, she normally would sing a lot harder, to be honest, and I sort of, for that album I got to sort of sing soften it down a bit, and because I kind of thought, well, you listen to an album, you don't want people to shout. If you listen to it, if you're shouting too much, you're not going to be able to. You don't want to put it on repeat straight afterwards or whatever.
I see what you mean.
And that's the music suited more of that sort of sound of voice. With this next album we're making, it's again, it's a different sound. It's more sort of. It's always hard to sort of work out genres, but I'd say it's got more of a new wave sort of influence to some of the stuff.
Yeah, because the newer stuff is a lot more kind of almost like dance synth led. It's got a kind of, it's a heavier beat.
Yeah.
Than the older stuff.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's what I've listened to from the most recent EP.
Cool.
One before that, which was
have you got the Love Hurts EP?
No, I don't. I've listened to it online.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh well, thank you very much.
And there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is the one with Love Hurts Frozen. Yeah. I was literally listening to these this morning as well, actually, just to kind of get my headspace a bit right, because what I noticed as well were the videos. They're all around here as well.
Again, what I try to do is I thought, well, the idea was I try to, you get some bands like who sort of, I don't know. Like back in the ska days, for instance, you look back at some of their videos, the bands like the Specials and things like that, they might record, film some things around, maybe around their area or something.
Yeah. I mean, Madness were big for that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Filming videos in kind of Camden.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, well, why not try to sort of show off, what's around Maidstone?
And I've got to be honest as well, it makes parts of Maidstone look much nicer than they actually are.
The mark of a good videographer.
Even those ones that are in the subway underneath the river, with those horrible brown
the brown tiles
actually doesn't look so bad through the filter in that video.
In the context of the music.
No, that's true. It
says a lot for the music as well.
Exactly. Precisely.
So I've been making the videos and I've enjoyed making them. And it's almost like having to sort of, as I say, wear many hats and stuff. And
because do you direct the videos as well?
Yeah.
And shoot?
I shoot the videos, I direct and I edit them.
Oh right, wow.
So it's like we were on the right track. With the DIY stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this is just DIY, but you've been able to afford it.
But all the X Factor and Eurovision, right?
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is that when I went to try to get video directors to come and make a video, a lot of the times, I'd like some of the ideas and stuff maybe when I first looked into it, but then I realised it was going to cost. If you wanted to get videos for every track or every release, it's going to end up costing quite a bit of money. So I already had photography and shooting backgrounds. I've done did things previously. Excuse me. I decided I'm just going to try and save some money and also
one-man production unit, really.
Basically, yeah. But I'm starting to open it out again, because we've just had a video made for a track called Automatic, which is probably going to be the next release, and that was made by somebody else. I'm waiting for management to approve of the video at the moment because I just signed a management deal,
right?
And as I'm waiting for them to
Who's that with?
That's with Ron Tom Media. We manage, or I manage, and for Mooli by a manager called Ron Tom, who was behind the Sugar Babes and All Saints and various other things, And you know, and that's just been the last few weeks. So quite excited about that pairing, because it sort of, you know, allows us to concentrate more on the music side of things.
Yeah. So are you trying to kind of get into deals as well that allows you to stay creative? Because I know there's probably a lot of people out there, management companies and that, will sign you, but then they'll kind of want you to change your sound.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, you can't. I mean, I've only had a couple of experiences previously with management, and one management company, they were huge at the time. They were the biggest in the country at the time, and you know, luckily, we mainly sort of were able to do our own thing. But I do hear of situations where people do sort of sign you and then want to change you. You know, I don't think this is going to be the case with this one. You know, I hope that we can continue to sort of have, you know, the creative, you know, say on what we put out there, really.
Kind of have your own creative control.
Yeah.
At least be collaborative.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to suddenly, you know, become a puppet or anything.
Because have you found that in the past with other, like, especially I suppose with the writing schools and stuff like that, it's very much like it's them controlling your output. I can't imagine that's a very comfortable place for someone who's creative to be in.
No, exactly. You want to be, you know, you want to be sort of, I suppose you want to be guided to sort of to what's sort of happening and stuff like that in a way. But I mean, all right, okay, I will tell you something. Like record company wise, I mean, you know, it's a, you know, how can I relate this as succinctly as possible? I was signed to A&M Records, and you know, great label. I love the artists they've had on there. You know, like Suzanne Vega is my favourite female artist of all time. She was a sign-in, obviously Janet Jackson and Sting and all the rest of it. And it was really nice to be signed to that label. But when we got signed, we had a certain style, and by being part of the label and stuff, we kind of found that we were manipulated a little bit. We were sort of, you know, our style. We were told to change, basically, and we had to try and, you know, I don't know.
Was it through like producers telling you kind of, you know, having to...
No, not so much, because we actually sort of co-produced.
Oh, right.
You know,
okay.
So we had a you know, say in the production of things, but it's more A&Ring really, sort of like, you know, hey guys, listen to this. This is going to be a hit. Check this out.
Yeah, so trying to make it seem like it's your idea to change.
Yeah, you know, sort of do one like this, you know, and so you start. Okay, wow, okay, we need to do this, do we? And I don't know. It's a I've got a few stories about things, you know, to do with like majors and stuff like that, and how things have, you know, happened, and you know.
Perhaps because we're running out of time, but perhaps when the albums, perhaps when the album's coming out, or imminent, we'll probably come and have you back on again.
Oh, cool! That'd be wicked. Yeah. That'd be great.
Might help.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, so I don't know if we've got time for lots more stories, but
this is. I mean, the thing is, we could always do a double episode again.
Yeah.
Depends.
I don't know. I promised my daughter I'd build something with her this afternoon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, cool. How old's your
daughter? She's 5. She'll be 6 in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
See it goes, eh? Gosh. Just the one, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah, no, it's fun.
It's one of those things. You're a very good storyteller. You've got loads of stories, and you're very good for the podcast, and it does make you want to keep going.
Yeah, I could stay and listen for ages, but seeing as we've not got we've got things.
I've got things to do. Again, it's down to me. But yeah.
Like
how much longer we got?
Still another 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah, about that.
I mean, if you want as well, you said you were going to play the remix you had for us.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that now, or if we carry on talking and we can just stick it on the end of the episode, if that's all right with you.
Oh yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah, do that way if you want. Yeah, that's cool.
So we've got a bit more to talk about. So I've just kind of like roadblock. There we go.
We could edit that 5 minutes out though, really, couldn't we?
We could.
Yeah. If there's a point at which we can.
We might be able to. Yeah. I've just put a bloody roadblock on it. I've just done a corky.
Yeah, haven't you?
Sorry. Where were we? We were talking about. Well, you said you had stories for that, but I think. Did you have anything else you were going to ask? I've just killed it. Oh no.
You know, one thing I should mention is that this summer we've got the Mooli. We've got we've done a hook up with Superdry. I'm quite keen to do some more sort of stuff with brands like
right.
You know,
okay,
basically Superdry. Sorry, is this advertising?
Yeah, no,
that's
cool.
a good point. That was a good thing.
I was going to say that the last thing that I wanted to put on was a couple of adverts for your websites and stuff like that.
Cool,
so
cool.
whatever you're doing, you know, plug away.
Oh, cool.
This is, I mean, the point is, we're supposed to be advertising you and your band anyway. So just go ahead, plug away.
Yeah, no, basically, I'm just pleased to say that Superdry have chosen one of our tracks. It was a collaboration with a Belgian DJ called Mac Monroe's on a NRJ Belgique, which is a big sort of dance station and stuff. They've chosen that track, which is called Inspiration, as their summer anthem. So it's going to be used on their advertising on their websites and festival stuff, and so I think that should hopefully give us a bit of exposure and stuff this year. And of course we get lots of Superdry goodies, which is all good. So need a few more hookups like that.
I know my girlfriend's going to be jealous about that. She loves Superdry stuff.
I like it too, to be honest.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, who knows? People might listen to this and
I doubt they'll send us anything.
They won't send us anything. But if they were going to offer you things, where would they go?
Where can people contact you?
Or
find you.
Or, even if people who are listening to this who aren't aware of Mooli, you know, where is it? What are the websites?
Yeah, I mean the main site where you can get access to all the other sort of things that we do is moolimusic.com, which is www.mooli music.com, and you've got links to SoundCloud and YouTube and various other bits and pieces, Facebook as well, of course. So,
and being able to buy and download the music. From
well. I mean, we've got stuff on iTunes and Amazon, and you know, all the.
If you're going to buy through Amazon, I think you should probably go to abhpod.com first and go
click
through
on our banner, and then go and buy the Mooli stuff.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Because Ben gets the money and we get some as well.
Yeah, we should share the love.
We don't get any of Ben's money though.
No, even Ben don't get any of Ben's money. So it's all good. It's all good.
One last question actually was the name.
Yes, I was going to ask that actually. Mooli.
When I looked it up, should have been the lead
type
question.
Mooli in Google. It's a fruit.
Radish.
Is it a vegetable?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm trying to think of how the best way of describing this. Basically, I was, you know, the original name, which I'd chosen for the band, was Regis, and then I'd actually found out there was some guy that I'd met in Brick Lane who's a friend of a friend whose name is Regis. Probably just what got the name in my head.
One of those sticks.
And then I found out there was really another band called Regis. So it wasn't meant to be, right? So then it's really hard to find a name that no one else has already got, because you know, as time goes on, you know, it's like, oh god, there's another one of them somewhere in Alaska or somewhere. And so I was just looking through a dictionary, just trying to think of a name, and you know, chose names out of a hat, you know, and just the one that seems to stick was Mooli, and the reason I liked Mooli as well was because I'd found out that it was used by different sort of Indian medicine men, all this sort of stuff, to treat various ailments, and
okay.
And so it seemed like, It's healing. I
It's
like that.
yeah.
I like that. You know, and it's also actually named as it's in the Bible. Believe it or not, apparently.
Oh,
not,
really?
Not that I'm particularly religious, but it's also so it's a Christian or whatever Christian or first name of many people. And some people in Israel, to this day, are called Mooli.
Oh,
and
right.
Anyway, it just seemed all roads seemed to point to Mooli, so that was the one really.
And it just sounds right for the
It just
kind of
sounds
thing
right.
that you're making, so,
Yeah.
We had a similar name finding band names.
Always go through the dictionary. It's always
dictionary. Instructional books for keyboards.
Really.
And get a bag of Scrabble letters and pick out 5 letters each.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You see, like Mooli joins a great sort of list of bands like I don't know, the Smashing Pumpkins or I'm trying to think of another one. Gosh, there must be another one.
Vegetable base.
yeah. Oh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course. Yeah. So it's all good. We're in good company.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff.
And it seems like things are kind of going well for you as well.
Yeah, it's definitely on the up at the moment. So long may it continue.
Yeah, totally. I think
that's a good way to end.
Again, moolimusic.com.
Yeah.
Find tracks to download on iTunes and Amazon. If you're going to Amazon, go through our website, abhpod.com. Click on the banner, then search out Mooli on music and download everything.
Yes,
it
is all good.
Yeah. And then hopefully, like we were saying, when the album gets produced or something, perhaps we'll come back and talk about the album.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's gonna be good. Some guests on there as well. We just in fact, live wise, we've been joined by a new guitarist. Well, not new. He's actually Gary Newman's guitarist.
Wow.
And he's gonna come and do. He's now part of our live band, and he's Steve Harris, and he's gonna be on the album, and there's a couple of other guests as well. So it should be good.
Great. What's the name of the album?
The album, the working title is Dream Chasing.
Right. Okay, and it's going to be a full length as well.
It is, absolutely. It's absolutely, yeah. It's nearly completed.
Good.
Wicked. So how long do you think that's going to take?
Well, I mean, we probably we'll finish it probably by about. Time is flying, but probably by May, June we'll probably be finished. But then it's up to the management and stuff and ourselves to decide, when it should be out and whether it should be licensed to a larger label or or not. So I definitely would love to have it out this year. This summer.
Have it for a summer album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get out on the festival circuits and
things. Yeah, I would love that to happen.
Sounds good. Well, hopefully it'll all turn out that way.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And like I say, when it's out, we'll probably come back and we can talk about it some more.
Wicked. Yeah, nice one. It's been great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having us over at your studio.
Yes. And thank you for coming down and interviewing me.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, very good. We've hardly said anything.
Yeah,
it's been brilliant.
It's been the least amount of work we've had to do on any of these episodes.
It's another one of those things where we're panicking, like we've not really done a lot of work finding stuff, but again, we haven't had to.
It's been brilliant.
Guests are good for us. Guests are very good for us.
But thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice.
So for Anywhere But Here this week, I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
And you've been Ben.
I've been Ben.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
So one last thing, because we realised that we said earlier on that we were going to put a track on the end of the podcast this week to kind of, promote the new album that's coming out, which we forgot to do because, it's just the way we do it here. But we've been treated to a couple of songs off the new album, and I've got to say, it's going to be a strong one. I think you should...
Thank you.
I think you should get on the pre-order.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as it happens, we'll be putting it up on the website and stuff anyway. But yeah, so now...
We're going to give a little taster, I suppose.
Going to give you a taster of what, the first single? Or what is planned as?
I think we're planning on releasing this one, yeah.
So you're going to release it separate from the album, but it will probably also be on the album.
It definitely will be on the album, but it's going to be, a taster of things to come, on the album.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is a snippet of Automatic.
Yeah, this is Automatic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and keep an eye on the website for when the album comes out, if you like this track.
Yes.
Thanks again. Thank you.
Here it is.